Hey College and Career Success, this is your video for week 5, which runs from February 15th through the 21st. We are going to be in chapter 2. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the lessons tab and scroll down. All right, here we are, week 5, chapter 2. So you will have 2 assignments this week. You can see here, no discussion post. So both assignments will count for your week 5 attendance. If you complete both, you'll get 100% attendance. If you only complete one, it'll earn half attendance points. However, I do like to start off with the PowerPoint. So chapter 2, you can see the chapter 2 slides. They are right here. Let me pull those up. All right, so chapter 2 is all about setting goals and choosing a career path. So for some of you, maybe you are undecided, you're CCP, or you're in the thick of your program. So I know everyone is a little different here, but some of this can still apply regardless. So the first topic in chapter 2 is about setting goals. So why do we set goals? We want to set goals, and we want to set high goals, especially because there are other benefits than just reaching the goal. Even setting a goal and not achieving the goal still has positive effects, and we're going to see that here in a few minutes. It leads to improved well-being, overall success, increased academic achievement. So there's a lot of benefits, but you have to set them in the right way. You may have heard of SMART goal setting. Our textbook uses something called the ABCs of effective goal setting. So A is to aim high. You want to be realistic, but you also want to aim high. So I'm going to use like a GPA for an example. So let's say, maybe in high school you struggled a little bit, but you know that you're capable. So in college, you want to say, you know what, I want a 3.5 GPA. And so you are aiming high. You're going to challenge yourself. And then maybe the next semester, you'll be like, you know what, I think I can do a 3.8. Part of that is also believing in yourself. So setting that high goal, but also then having the self-efficacy, believing in your ability, believing in your effort to be able to actually achieve or get close to your goal. Nothing can happen if you don't actually put the work in, though. A goal is great, but unless you put the work in, it's just a dream. So you have to care and commit, putting in the time, putting in the effort, making adjustments, setting priorities. All of that is going to help you reach that goal. And then specify and self-reflect. I think this is important. A lot of people kind of skip this part. So let's say we go back to that 3.5 GPA, and halfway through the semester, like AP and P is just kicking your tail. You're like, you know what? I'm going to work real hard, but I think 3.5 is out of my reach this semester. I'm going to allow myself that 3.3, or excuse me, 3.5. I'm going to bring it down to 3.3. That's not, lowering your standards. It's self-reflecting that something isn't working and readjusting as needed. And so this allows constantly to monitor and pay attention to what's happening. So those are the kind of more effective goal setting. Now, here's what I alluded to a couple of slides ago about, what if you don't reach your goal? And so they did this longitudinal study. You can see it went from 1979 into 1992. So it's a long-term study, literally thousands of participants. And they were looking to see what happened when people, students, set a goal and then if they didn't reach it. So here was what happened. 43% of the participants set their goal as either reaching like an associate degree, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, whatever it might be. 43% fell short of that goal. They didn't reach their intended degree. 49%, so about half, achieved their goal, and 8% went above. They went to a different, a higher degree. So what does this mean? It says there was no evidence of emotional cost or depression for unrealized goals. So yeah, it might suck. You're like, you know what? I didn't get my associate's degree, or I didn't get my bachelor's degree. And it's not going to feel good for a while. But long term, it did not lead to a long-term emotional cost in terms of like depression. In fact, higher expectations and working hard actually were associated with lower levels of depression. So that's why I say it's go ahead to challenge yourself and aim high, because it's actually going to help you overall, regardless if you meet that goal or not. Again, the ABCs, believe in yourself, have that self-efficacy. And if you don't believe in yourself, you can do little things to work up to it. You can reach out for help, use the resources available to you at the school, at your school if you're CCP, or at the college, and take risks. You're not going to grow unless you take the risks and you try. Again, care and commit, find what motivates you, stick with that. Remind yourself, keep your end goal in mind. And we'll talk about this throughout the rest of the semester as well, like different motivational theories and how to increase that motivation. And then reflect. Again, make sure that you monitor your progress. If your goal is a GPA related goal, 4.0, you're going to have checkpoints. Like, all right, how am I going? Are my learning strategies working? Are they not working? What do I need to adjust? The next part of chapter 2 talks about career exploration and decision making. And so this goes into detail about, okay, before you make your career decision, if you haven't, and even if you have, these are good things to consider. How do I identify? What are some characteristics of myself? Why do I want to go into this career? There's this little study that says, who influences our career decision? The biggest influencer is our parents, whether that's parents, or grandparents, the people who raised us. And then next are our friends. So this is why it matters who we surround ourselves with, because our friends have a big influence. And sometimes this can be a positive or a negative influence, right? So someone can motivate us to go into a certain career, or we can be like, ooh, I don't want to do what they're doing. We can go a different direction because of that. So these people have an influence on our career. And so here are different career theories. How do we get into the careers we're going into? So these are the 3 main career theories. The first one is social cognitive. Social meaning kind of refers back to this one right here. People encourage us or discourage us, or they can suggest career paths, or we watch other people and we can benefit from that watching. And then the cognitive, our belief in our ability. So maybe we grew up in a family of nurses, and so we are seeing that, we're watching that, and then we believe that because we know the culture of nursing, we can do it. That would be a way that the social cognitive theory kind of works together. Happenstance is an example of where it's a result of planned and unplanned events. So maybe you go to like a networking opportunity and you're going into one field, but you network with other people, and through talking to them and kind of learning about, you kind of start to drift toward their career. One of the better examples I had, and a student years ago allowed me to share her story. She was going for the medical field. Like, she wanted to be in the medical field. However, she was pulled over for substance abuse. So she had, she was arrested. It was a couple different substances, and that obviously derailed her medical career. And so while she was trying to kind of get things back on track, she got a job at a local restaurant in the kitchen, and she found out that she had a love of cooking. And so she came back to school for culinary. And this was a nice example. I mean, obviously what happened wasn't beneficial, she would say at the beginning, but it turned out to be to her benefit. She wished she would have gone a different path to get there, but this was happenstance. It was an unplanned event, and just kind of by thinking she was getting a job just to get a job, she found out she really loved it, and she went back for culinary, and that's what she was going to pursue. And that's a lot of different ways happenstance can happen. And then we also have like the person, environment, fit. What are your interests? What are your personality traits? And all of that comes together. And if you know that information about yourself, what kind of environment should you be working in? Because if your environment and your personality fit, it's going to lead to better career satisfaction. If you are in a career that just has nothing to do with what really makes you happy as a person, it's probably going to lead to career dissatisfaction. So you want to make sure that those fit together. Also, talking about career is we have some career indecision that happens. It says up to 65 to 70% of students are unsure what major to choose. They just know they want to go to college, but they're not sure they want to go to college for. They haven't made that decision yet. So what leads to that? Well, they're just not ready. Our society, I think we're getting better, but our society almost has this idea that, okay, you graduate high school, you go to college. And that's not everyone needs that. Or not everyone needs that back-to-back situation. They might need a year off. So they're just not ready to go to college. They're not ready to make that decision. They don't have enough information. Maybe they didn't spend time gathering the information on different paths and different careers, and so they weren't able to make an informed decision, or the information they had was inconsistent or conflicting. So those are the major reasons people might have some career indecision. This also goes along with kind of the slide a couple slides ago, like knowing yourself. How are you smart? We are all smart. We all have intelligence, but intelligence looks different. We are all intelligent in different ways. So knowing how you're intelligent is helpful in also making your career decisions. Are you more spatially intelligent? Are you more interpersonal? You get along with other people? Are you more logical, mathematical? All of that can help shape the career path you go into. You also need to know kind of what are your abilities and what are your soft skills. So technical skills are the things that you're going to college for, right? The abilities you need to know to perform your specific job tasks. Soft skills are those things, transferable skills, that can go from field to field. No matter what, you need them. Here are some examples, like communication. That's important no matter what field you're in. Professionalism. While professionalism looks different in every field, you still need to be professional, whatever that looks like for your field. So being able to kind of adapt, which comes along with flexibility, working with other people. So knowing what your abilities and soft skills are. This is another, like knowing who you are is your personality. What kind of personality traits do you have and how does that match with your career? Finally, as we're wrapping up the chapter, learning about careers, like where do you go to get this information? And so we're going to look at one of the sites today, but the Occupational Outlook Handbook. So if I open that up, I have it right here. Excuse me. I would go up here and I'm just going to use, let's say, physical therapy. I would search in this top box up here. And I'm going to look and see, like at Stark State, we do have a physical therapy assistant. So I'm going to click there. And this is going to give me lots of information about physical therapy assistants. It might be a little overwhelming at first, but look at all that data. Now, I'm going to search in education and show you how some of the other fields are a little set up differently in here. Here we go. So let's say I'm going to education, like, okay, what kind of education? I want to teach high school. And this kind of walks me through, I think this format's a little bit more friendly, so it just depends on the field, but it gives me all this information about, okay, what's my pay going to look like? How do I become one? What's the job outlook? So that's another way, like once you think you've figured out what you want to do, research it a little bit, get to know it. This is one of many sites. You can see it talks about a couple different places over here. So go to a career website and find out about it. You can also do an informational interview. This is where you sit down with someone or even job shadow someone who's in the field, because then you get that first person perspective from them about what is it actually like? What's a day like in your field? All right, so that is chapter 2, and that's going to take us from this week and next week. So that's kind of the lecture that'll carry us for both weeks. So now let's talk about the assignments you have this week. So Chapter 2, week 5 here, we're going to get into the assignments. You have 2 assignments. The 10 and 25 year from now you, this is going to kind of talk and revolve around goal setting. So you'll open up this document. It's going to open up in this table right here. And you are going to see that it says, pretend you run into your teacher, whether that's me, whether if you're a CCP student, your teacher in 10 years. What does your 10 years from now look like in regard to education, relationships, financial status, living environment, and then if there's anything else you can think of. Think about your accomplishments. Think about your goals, what you want to be and look like and do from 10 years. And then do the same exercise 25 years from now. Okay? For some of you, this might be easier than others, depending on where you are, both in your life and your program, but it's kind of an exercise in just thinking out your goals, because ultimately then you'll work backward from here. You should be thinking, okay, if 10 years I want to be here, where should I be in 5 years? Where should I be in 1 year? So it's kind of like thinking through that process. And just go ahead and write like a complete sentence, whether it's 1 or 2 sentences, whatever you need to do. And obviously, like as you type, the box will expand if you need to. So file it, save that, go into the assignment in Blackboard. This is due again Sunday. Browse it and attach it. That's your first assignment of the week. Your second assignment is a little bit lengthier. So it's career services. So we're going to click in here and you can see there are 2 parts and it is 30 points. This first part is 20 points. The second part is 10 points. Okay, so it's a 30-point assignment. So please make sure you do it. You are going to go to Career Coach and take the 60-question assessment. Here's a direct link, but I'm also going to show you where it is on the Stark State webpage. So if we go to the Stark State College webpage and I scroll all the way down, here is Career Coach. You are going to go, when you get here, to take the assessment. Before you do that, I would recommend signing up for an account, only because if you happen to maybe get interrupted, close out, you can pick back up where you were, or later on you can go back and revisit your results. If you do this as a guest, which you certainly can, you won't have your results saved. So I would recommend signing up for an account. Just use your Stark State username, password information to make everything consistent. So whenever you are either signed up or you're willing to take it as a guest, you're going to click Take Career Assessment. You are going to take the 60 questions. For my video purposes, I'm going to take 6 questions just because it's going to take quicker. You are taking 60 questions. When you submit your assignment, I'll be able to tell because it'll say long or short version. Make sure you take the 60 questions. Not only that, the 60 question one, as you can imagine, will be more detailed. It's going to be able to more accurately pinpoint your results versus the 6 questions. So again, just for my purposes for the video, I'm going to take the 6 questions. Now you can see, even when you take the 60 questions, these are the kind of questions you're going to have. They're very short and sweet. You're just simply going to read the statement and where on the scale do you fall. So I'm just going to go ahead and take it. 6 questions. Here we go. Here are my personality traits, which we talked about. It's going to tell me a little bit about them. And down here, it's going to give me my career matches. Oh, big surprise, right? Education and training, which is what all of my degrees are in. But I will kind of look and see the matches. I have different matches. And it'll go down as I get lower. But what I could do is click in here. And you can see then I have specific ones to that field, and I can click my highest match, and it's going to take me to, again, a list, quite a list of particular careers inside that overarching. And let's say, you know, of all these, I want to, I don't know, teach economics at the college level. So it's going to give me my info as part of my salary, my job openings. Look, I can click on About. And it's going to tell me tasks and the education level, wage information, what it's going to look like, employment information, not a lot of jobs in that particular field, and then live job postings. All right, so if I go back to my assessment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to download my full results. And you can see they open up down there. We'll try that again. It always likes to make it interesting when I am recording. There we go. I'll give it a minute to actually there. All right. So, and I'm going to go up to the top right hand corner where the 3 little dots. Oh, actually, I'm going to do this. Apologize. I'm in the wrong browser for that. I'm going to hit download. Desktop. There's my career assessment results. And you can see this is just kind of a recap of what the interactive version has, but this just kind of goes over my top matches and then my personality traits, but it also gives you what you're going to turn in. Okay, so that's your assessment results. Okay. That's part 1. Part 2 is watching this video right here, and it's from Career Services. So it's not from me, it's a Career Services video. It's about, a little over 20 minutes long. When you are done watching the video, I will get like a receipt, so to speak, to say, so-and-so watched the video, and that will earn you your other point. So it has to run through the entire video with sound on in order for me to get that notification. So when you are done, you will go, let's see, Career Services, scroll down, all the way at the bottom, you'll see there's the Dropbox. This is where you're going to upload your career assessment results. Okay, so you're only submitting one thing, but the video is the second thing. Okay. All right, so first take the Career Coach Survey 60 question assessment, download and save your results, and then watch the video. And then I will be able to see that you watched the video, and after you submit those assessment results and watch the video, you'll get your full 30 points. All right, so a real quick recap of this week, Chapter 2 on setting goals and choosing a career path, the 10 to 25 year from now you, and your 2-part Career Services assignment. Please make sure you complete both parts for 30 points. Those are both due by Sunday for your attendance points as well as just general assignment points. And only completing one will get you half attendance points. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a great week. Bye.